back, everybody. Today I got a pretty good video for you guys. We're going to be exploring Ice Underground, killing Islena, and also collecting that rare set. So I threw up the list right here of commands for the mini-map. This thing is your friend in Astonia. I keep telling you guys that, and you guys aren't listening. Just kidding. Jumping straight into it though, the first part of Ice Underground is pretty much just a maze of grabbing these keys made of ice and dashing to the door before they melt. If you hold them in your mouse instead of your inventory, they do melt slower, so that helps if you don't have high speed. But with Astonia 3 Invicta, our speeds are so good that you really don't have to worry too much about it. So I'm assuming that if you're watching this, it's because you're looking for the location of the 5 pieces of special equipment. To get there, you have to go through this area unless you've already been in here before and you have access to Ice Underground Teleport 2 and 1. I've sped a lot of this video up just because originally it was a 54-minute long recording and it had a bunch of downtime from when we took turns waiting for the bosses that contain the equipment to respawn and just having to run away for a couple minutes due to kids or taking a leak or something like that. I wish it only took 15 minutes, but be prepared to spend about an hour in here if it's your first time. Maybe a little bit longer if you're following this guide step by step. Once again, referring back to the equipment though, if you're in here looking for the equipment, I would assume that you're already a minimum level of 150 and your weapon skill is a minimum 150 base. And if you're a Super Saiyan, Berserker, or Warrior, or just a regular Saiyan, your armor skill is as well 150 base. In this particular area, you're going to come up to these doors. Make sure it's the second door that you go through. That's going to take you to the next part of Ice Underground. I went ahead and notated where all 5 teleporters are in this area. This is number 5, and it counts downwards to teleporter 1, which is where most of the equipment is, as well as Islena. Now, if you're in here and you get all 5 pieces and you head out and you're wondering what to do next, I strongly recommend going and farming the mole cave equipment, which is the 2 rings and the amulet. Those 3 pieces all worn together will give you an additional plus 30 boost to your mods, which ignores your max. So when you're ready to orb up all those equipments, the Islena Revenge set as well as the Mole Cave set, I strongly recommend starting off orbing the Mole Cave set first. It's only 3 pieces versus the Islena set, which is 5 pieces. Now you're only going to be able to orb each piece up to plus 25, and to get it to plus 30, you're going to need something called upgrade crystals, which can be farmed in void pens, specifically levels 132. Alright, here's teleporter 4 and 2 AK. I don't really go out of my way specifically for the Islena's Revenge set and get each piece of AK that is in Ice Underground. However, if you want to do that, there are still maps that you could find on Google which do contain the locations of each AK or ancient knowledge in this area. But if you've done Earth Underground, those first few pieces are really sufficient. I'd only really recommend getting the AK in here if you're just strictly trying to get experience, in which case you'd probably want to be a lot lower level than 150 for it to even be viable. But if you want to stick true to the game and just get everything that the game has to offer, I really recommend that as well. There's a lot of really cool features that are in this game, and a lot of it sadly doesn't get used. And hopefully with some improvements in the future, we could really come back to appreciate everything that Astonia has to offer. So this next area that we're about to run past, it contains some ancient knowledge as well as a couple books that give a brief history on what exactly going on and just gives you more of a storyline feel. I'm just going to bypass that and get to this area. This area contains secret walls and a teleportation method so that when you go through the wall, you have to go through the other wall correctly to teleport to the next location. And it's a series of 3 different areas. If you miss it, you jump back to the beginning and it kind of gets you turned around. So just take your time right here, follow like I'm doing, and you'll be alright. You could also just watch on my mini map. That's why I really love the mini map, because if you bring another character here and you're not exactly sure where to go, as long as you've only gone the paths like I have, you won't have all the undiscovered areas show up on your mini map, so it makes it a lot easier in case you do forget. However, you can always revert back to this video whenever you take another character that you leveled up, and it might make things easier. Me personally, I'm a big fan of this mini map. I'm glad that they implemented it, and I use it consistently throughout the game. Alright, so we've gone through all these areas now. There's actually 4. I think I mentioned 3, but that's fine as well. You're gonna run down here, and they have one of those little fire pits that keep you warm when you're lower level. But like I said, if you're 150, you're just gonna pound through this area. There shouldn't be anything stopping you at all, unless you're probably ungeared or naked, whatever term you use. And I'm not exactly sure. I haven't taken a naked character through here, but with all the random gear that drops in pens, I don't think that anybody should be naked in this game, unless that's just how you roll, in which case, hats off to you. So if you've been using a map from Google this whole time as well to help get you through, the map only leads up right up into this area up here, which is also by teleporter number 3. So this next area gets a little bit tricky. I could probably make a map and throw it up somewhere for you to be able to find on Google in the future. If you'd like me to do that, just go ahead and comment down below, and I'll take some time out of one of my gaming days and do that for you guys. So here it is up here. This is the little hallway that takes us, and there's also another little fire pit up here that I'll just be running past. You could stop if you want. There's no demons that should be running up on you. The next demon, I believe, is up through this door. There's actually the eye. These guys are actually pretty crazy in some of the other areas, like Caligar, I believe, or Arcada. I'll have a video for that quest up soon. I've died a lot of times on different alts back in my beginning days fighting these things that are a pain in the ass. But again, at level 150, even without the Islena's Revenge set, you're gonna just tank right through them. I run through this area just because of how long of a process it is. You could stop and kill everything. You might find something that I haven't. I haven't really took the time to explore too much just because I was so excited about getting the set before a lot of other players, and you know, being that cool kid on the block. Alright, so we'll just jump through this door. We don't have much further to go till we get to our first piece of equipment. We just got to make another mad dash through the twists and turns of Ice Underground. There's another one of those eyes up here that also has some demons behind this door, and this door as well. Right behind this door is where the first boss is, so let's check it out. Alright, he respawned, kick his butt, loot his body. Currently, as of me recording this video, there is a sword, a two-handed sword, and a dagger. However, there is plans for an update which would include hand-to-hand and staff. I'm really excited about the staff, and particularly just because I have made a fire staff mage with the update on fire. If you're curious about the new update on fire, I have a video of that up as well. Here's teleporter 2. Originally, fire was really underused. Apart from PvP or PKing, nobody used fire. It was a slow process. But now fire ring, it hits quick and it does the instant fire damage, but it also has a burn effect which lasts about 12 seconds, and that is also stackable. So if you do 2 fire rings or 3 fire rings, that fire damage burn will increase every time you fire ring. That's something that I've been really excited about. I have currently made him up to level 101 using Ice Army caves and some other quick leveling methods like farming military experience with the tunnel skip shrine. This area right here is another area where you have to be careful. If you don't follow the correct hidden walls, you'll be teleported back to that bottom square on my mini map, and it gets confusing. So should you hit the wrong wall, it's that very bottom square on my mini map that just disappeared. Alright, and this same thing as well, this will also teleport you back to that area. So just be careful, take your time on all these hidden wall areas. They're very tricky and it can get quite frustrating. So again, use your mini map. Alright, so here's the next boss. He has the chest piece. Um, it's pretty convenient if you're a mage. There's a soft piece, or if you have armor skill, there's also the armor skill there. And also, you've been noticing these little blue pieces. There's keys. Well, it's one key, but you got to collect all the pieces, and that key will open up the gate to get you to Islena. You don't necessarily have to kill Islena to get all 5 pieces. However, FTB, fuck that bitch. You know what I'm saying? Beat her up. That was one of the best things doing back in Old World, was getting to that point to where you could sir or lady and then strutting it around all over Aston for all the noobs to see. And trust me, as one of those noobs, I was so envious of those that had it. I never got to Sir or Lady in Old World. However, I do remember seeing other people doing it, and then it became a competition of who could Sir or Lady at the lowest level. I believe it was a spawner who actually was able to do it. Here's Teleporter 1. I don't remember the name of that person. However, if you guys do, comment down below because I'm super curious who it was, and my hat's off to that person. Alright, so now that we have touched Teleporter 1, I strongly recommend in some of these longer areas where you have to do a lot of running to just go ahead and recall scroll back if you have that infinite recall scroll, and just go ahead and touch the teleporter and teleport to Teleporter 1 in Ice Underground. It's going to save you a lot of time. This area right here with this boss through this door is a short walk, so you don't have to do it here. I didn't, but whatever you want to do to save some time, I strongly recommend. You're probably going to get this set and just spend a lot of time testing it out. I know I did. And then eventually you're going to get excited and want to orbit up, which is what I'm at right now. I'm at that stage where I'm in Void Pence level 136, farming the orb recall scrolls so that I don't have to take each alt through that long journey through 30s, 40s, and 50s with those scrolls. It just double click it and it takes you to the orb. Once you grab that orb, double click it again, it takes you to the next one, and so on and so on. I'm also in Pence picking up all the tri-stat, 4-stat, and 5-stat pieces of equipment that drop, and I'm turning that in to the new NPC in the room next to the orb vendor and getting orbs that way. I'm pretty much collecting as much orbs as I can because it's going to take a lot, and with the orb vendor selling every orb at 10k a piece, if you don't have a lot of gold, I strongly recommend just farming orbs that way. I believe somebody in the game did the math and it came out to about 1.6 mil in gold for each piece of equipment. And if you don't have that kind of money laying around, which most of us don't, I think you only get 15k gold per insane mission for the governor. Take quite some time. So thankfully the developers updated it and made it a lot easier to get orbs, as well as increased the drop rate for upgrade crystals in Void Pence 132. So thank you to the developers. Now this area I'm going now, there actually isn't a piece of equipment. As you can see, it's just the key piece only, but if you want to fight Islena, you have to get that key piece. If not, you could just go through this door like I'm going to do right now once my slow ass friend follows through. You just go left instead of going right of Islena's gate, and that'll take you to the next piece of equipment. That area is a little bit of a run as well, and it's kind of confusing because as you can see on the mini map as we go through, it has a lot of false trails, a lot of dead ends. But if you just take your time and run this route that I'm running, you'll get there really quickly, and you don't have to worry about getting stuck and trapped or ganked or whatever you call it. You can just run right through, collect that last piece, and then 9 times out of 10 you're gonna fangirl once you put on that set and probably just forget to kill Islena. So here it is. This is the boss. He's got the boots. It's just soft piece of boots, obviously. There's that last key piece. If you want, you can go ahead like I'm doing, like I said. Use Teleporter 1 for, there it is, Ice 1 is what it's called on the teleporter map. Go ahead and go through this door once again, and if you have the key, which I was trying to save time when I was recording, so I didn't grab that key piece. I just left it up to my friend to get it. Open the door. You run this way to the left, and right up here, they have a horde of demons. You could test out your new set on these guys. Like, I war cried, and it stopped them dead in their tracks. There's also this book on the table which gives a little bit more of that storyline. I just bypass it. Up here we have our infamous Ruby. Once again, she's asking for something. She's about the biggest noob in the game. I've never been asked for so many things, but hey, unlike the noobs that do play the games and not the NPCs, she actually will give you something back. I'm sure everybody knows about that. Make short work of Islena with your new set, and you have officially done. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want me to put up, and I'll do it for you guys. Happy hunting.